Welcome comic book fans to Pop LA Gamers hashtag Pullthis for Wednesday, June 21st, 2017. I'm your host, Glenn Kremp, aka Leafs in Six, and these are my top choices for the comics released this week. First up, my top choice this week is Crosswind #1 Image Comics, written by Gail Simone. This is a pretty awesome comic. Now, it does have that story of people switching bodies, a la Freaky Friday, or most famously from Buffy, when Buffy and Faith kind of switched bodies. So the story starts off with Carson. He's a hitman who's out doing his business, working with the mob. He gets a call that he needs to check out the mob's son. Now his adventure kind of starts off the comic. At the beginning, we see him having to kill what we see as his best friend, and it sets him up to be a very cold-blooded killer as we see it. Next, then, we go to Jupiter, who is a mom, and she has her own life issues as well. It seems that her son doesn't really get along with her that well. Her husband seems to be cheating on her. She does seem to have issues with the neighborhood boys and stuff like that. So we do get a scene in the comic where she actually goes into the house and she breaks down. Through that, there's a big dinner party that the religious boss of her husband wants to come to. So the pressure throughout the comics is on her to get this dinner ready, make them the perfect family so the husband can get the job opportunity. Through that, going to the grocery store, that is where she finds out that it seems that her husband's cheating on her. Anyways, we do get to the exciting part of the comic where both of these characters are in a certain state, and boom, the switch happens. The exciting thing, and I can't wait for issue 2 of this comic, is to see what Jupiter is going to end up being like now that Carson the Hitman is in her body. Everything seems to be going really bad for her right now. I just can't wait for the dinner party scene with her now as the Hitman and seeing kind of the rough times that she is having about to go into this. A really great read this week. Again, Gail Simone, great writer. And like I said, Crosswind #1, pick it up from Image Comics. Really great read. Next up is Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man #1. Very excited. I absolutely love this comic. It felt like we really got back into the old roots of Peter Parker. The comic does start off with Peter Parker and the Human Torch just hanging out on a rooftop talking about how their life is gone. I love their little back and forth about the costume, and kind of even Peter retelling his origin story, which is really funny how that's addressed in the comic as well. A really great, again, Peter Parker is in the title, but again, it really felt like the roots of Spider-Man back into this comic. Ant-Man also makes an appearance in this comic, and he helps Spider-Man help this young comedian named Rebecca London kind of get out of a mugging. What's really interesting, I think it could be a new love interest for Spider-Man, not so much Peter Parker, where she really seems taken to Spider-Man and wants to kind of go on a date with him and makes innuendos like that. But it's really nice to see and a really enjoyable read, just having Spider-Man just being normal, not in charge of Parker Industries or any stuff like that, just being in New York City saving other people. Now, as we get further into the comic, there's a really great scene, or I should say a spoiler type ending. Now, if we go back to 2014, if you remember the graphic novel Spider-Man Family Business, we have a whole setup where it was discovered that Peter Parker's parents, the CIA agents that they were, actually ended up having another child, which would be his sister, Teresa. So, spoiler alert, obviously, she, from that graphic novel, makes an appearance back at the end of this comic. So it's really interesting to see where this is going to go. If Marvel's bringing that actual back into the fold. And again, that was a great graphic novel. If you're able to get to your comic book store and re-pick that up, it seems like they're using that to really push this story. A really good comic for #1. Highly recommend picking that up. Alright, last but not least, Batman #25. The anniversary issues of the DC Rebirth event. So right now, all the DC Rebirth comics that are getting to 25 are a little extra size issue, and they are charging $1 more, so these comics are actually $3.99, but you are getting a little bigger size of a comic for that, as all the issues hitting 25 are a little bit of a anniversary mark for the DC Rebirth storyline. This one is the War of Jokes and Riddles, so it's going to be the Joker and the Riddler pretty much battling it out to see who's the one that can take out Batman. Now, we do have a really good build up to this event. We do understand, and the way it's read is that it's an event that takes place in the past of Batman's life. Not so much it's happening now, but it's something that's happened before. As we remember from Batman number 24, as we can see here, Bruce Wayne proposed to Catwoman. So it looks like she could have maybe said yes. If we do get to the very last page of this comics, Bruce and Selina are lying in bed. I think they might have, but this is a story. Bruce is actually telling Selina about something that he's done that he thinks is what I would think he thinks is worse than what Selina's ever done. So we do have a dividing fraction. We do see that the Riddler and the Joker, it looks like through great one-page splashes, are going to divide all of Batman's villains onto whose side you're going to be on. But a great starting point for wherever this story is going to go. Very excited. Again, we did not get the answer. We do not know if Selina said yes or no to Bruce's proposal. But like I said, at the end of this comic, it doesn't seem like she might have said no, but it also doesn't seem like she said yes. Whoa, yeah, wow, it's time for Quick Hit. We're gonna start off with the Mighty Thor number 20. So this one's a pretty good issue. We have two little things going on. Obviously, we know Ultimate Thor ended up dying trying to save the planet, but the biggest thing about this issue is Jane Foster's choice. She has two choices that she gives Otis on. One is that the cancer that she has been battling with is going to eventually, if not sooner than later, take Jane Foster's life. Or she has a choice to actually be Thor and say goodbye to Jane Foster forever. So a really good issue where she's going to make a choice, and either of those choices will see the end of Jane Foster. And again, we're going with Darth Vader number 2. We did talk about it on the last one, Darth Vader number 1 coming out. This did take place right after Revenge of the Sith, and it's Darth Vader in his early years, you could say. He is still on course finding his own lightsaber, and this is just another one of those ventures how he gets out to an outpost and he takes out a bunch of clone troopers, still searching for his lightsaber. But we are about to really come to how Darth Vader does finally get his own lightsaber. And last but not least, we're going to go with Superman 25, another DC Rebirth anniversary issue. Again, the $3.99 price point. But this is the conclusion to the Manchester Black storyline, which he controlled Superman's son, using him against Superman. But a really good story, and really anytime we get to see Manchester Black is a very exciting time. So pick up the last issue of that Black Dawn that includes Manchester Black. Also, if you want to see more Manchester Black, check out the DC animated movie Superman vs. the Elite, where we do get to see Superman versus Manchester Black in that as well. A really great animated episode. And that's my pull list for this week. As always, please check out the Potbelly Gamers podcast. We are on the allgames.com radio network every Friday night live from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This week, most likely our topic is going to be about the big announcement. Atari is coming back with the right now working title of Atari Box. We'll be talking about that this week as well. And as always, we just want to say thank you to WashiKong for the support. Please check out washikong.com for toys, apparels, and they have a couple of online comics as well. And as always, please get out and support your local comic book shop. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to have these great titles that we get to read every week. Thanks for watching, and remember, you can subscribe to our channel down here, or you can like down here, or if you even have any other questions, you can leave a comment right down there. Thanks for watching. See you next week.